Today's report is all about decentralization. This report is presented to you by the Group 8 with the members Irisa Adap, Kate Alva, Francesca Cortez, Gian Ludwig San Gaspar, and Erickson Santa Ana. The topics of this report are the following: the definition of decentralization, forms of decentralization, compare and contrast the forms of decentralization, the conceptual framework of decentralization, democracy, and local governance, the structure of local government in the Philippines, the implications of decentralization, and the report synthesis.
In the Philippines, we have the Local Government Code of 1991, Republic Act 7160, which devolves and decentralizes power, resources, and responsibilities from the national government to local government. According to Morel 2002, decentralization is the means to allow for the participation of the people and the local government. Basically, decentralization is the process in which the national government follows when they are allowing the regional or local government to participate, to take place in the decision-making of all authorities. It has a broad range of transfer, since we are talking about not just transfer, but distribution of powers to specific agents in order to administrate and function on their own. So why do we need to decentralize? In order to respond quickly to local issues, the national government should decentralize. It is also to create efficiency and flexibility to respond to the constituents of the LGUs.
There are 4 types of decentralization according to World Health Organization, which are political decentralization, administrative decentralization, fiscal decentralization, and market decentralization. But I'll be focusing more on the 3 major forms of administrative decentralization, which are the concentration, delegation, and devolution. But first, according to World Health Organization, administrative decentralization seeks to redistribute authority, responsibility, and financial resources for providing better public services among different levels of government. On the Philippine context, based on decentralization in the Philippines, an overview by Alex Brillantes Jr. on April 1987, that administrative decentralization is more concerned with decentralization through sectors such as health, educational, agricultural, social welfare and development, and environment and natural resources, etc. Then specific realms of development councils like barangay, municipal, city, provincial, and regional. Tapos, the resources that are used by the national government and the local governments are from the national internal revenue of taxes. Tapos yung 60% napupunta sa national government. Tapos yung 40% naman is napupunta dun sa mga development councils, yung mga barangay, municipal, city, provincial, and regional dun napupunta. So imagine 40% lang compared to national government napupunta dun sa mga yun. Tapos yung 40% na yun pinaghahatian pa nila na yung 20% is for the barangays, yung 23% is for the provinces, yung 23% ulit is sa mga cities, yung 34% naman is sa mga municipalities. Pero kung kulang naman kung ano meron yung LGUs, pwede naman sila humingi ng assistance sa national government through the congressman. So, yung congressman naman, hingi sila ng assistance sa DPWH, DepEd, PAGCOR, depende kung ano kailangan ng LGUs. Okay? 3 major forms of decentralization. we have deconcentration, delegation, and devolution. The first one is deconcentration. Deconcentration, according to World Health Organization, involves redistributing decisions, making authority and financial and management responsibilities among different levels of national government. So, yung deconcentration, siya yung process na pag-a-assign, pagbibigay ng functions from national government or central government to the lower levels or field or mga regional. So, yung central government or yung national government, nagbibigay sila ng responsibilities. Tinatransfer nila yung responsibilities nila sa mga subordinate nila. So, yung mga nakakababa sa kanila, which are the LGUs. For example, yung ginawa ni our dear President nung nagsabi siya na magpatupad tayo ng curfew. 'Di ba? Ang sabi niya, nakipag-usap na ako sa mga mayor. Since yung mayor natin, sila yung nag-a-act na, okay, sige, maglalagay ako ng curfew kasi nasasakupan niya tayo. So, ang ginawa ni President is transfer niya yung mga function na pinapagawa niya doon sa nakakababa sa kanya, which is the mayors.
Alvin, nagdeklara na nga ng state of calamity si San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora. Ito ay matapos na umakyat na sa 15 ang mga kaso o positibong kaso ng coronavirus disease dito sa lungsod. Samantala ay naging maayos naman daw ang unang araw ng Metro Manila Community Quarantine dito sa San Juan. Maluwag na trapiko, mangilang-ilang tao at mga negosyong sarado. Ito ang sitwasyon sa unang araw ng community quarantine sa Metro Manila. Maging ang ilang paboritong pasyalan, halos walang katao-tao. Tuwing linggo dinadagsa ng mga pamilya at magkakaibigan itong Quezon City Memorial Circle. Pero ngayong unang araw ng community quarantine sa Metro Manila ay kapansin-pansin na kakaunti lang ang mga namamasyal dito. Samantala, matapos magkasundo ang mga mayor sa Metro Manila kahapon, agad ipinasa ng Muntinlupa City ang ordinansa na nagtatalaga ng 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew sa lungsod. Inaprubahan na rin ng City Council ang ordinansang magpapairal ng curfew sa Maynila. Sa isang post, sinabi naman ni Pasig Mayor Vico Soto, ipapatupad na rin ang curfew sa kanilang syudad hanggang matapos ang quarantine period sa Abril 14. Exempted sa curfew ang mga nagtatrabaho at ilang essential movements gaya ng pagbili ng pagkain at paglabas para magpakonsulta sa ospital. Para malimitahan ang paglabas ng mga tao, iminungkahi rin ng mga alkalde ang pansamantalang pagsasara ng mga mall sa Metro Manila. Exempted naman dito ang mga supermarket, grocery store, pharmacy at bangko. Malaki ang magiging epekto nito sa mga manggagawa, kaya mag-aalok ng Social Amelioration Program ang Marikina City sa mga maapektuhang workers sa lungsod. 4 ang malalaking mall sa Marikina City.
Sa mga madi-displace ay magbibigay tayo ng 15-day food subsidy, financial subsidy. Ito ay ibibigay namin doon sa mga Marikina residents. Bilang mga requirement, kailangan magpakita ka ng certificate of residency, kailangan ka magpakita ng certificate of employment, at kailangan ka rin makakuha ng certificate of displacement.
Nakatakda namang pulungin ni Mayor Joy Belmonte bukas ang mga mall owners sa Quezon City.
In our city, kasi our malls are our lifeblood.
Yes.
Talaga naman sila yung source ng employment ng ating mga mamamayan. Gusto ko manggaling na sa kanila yung pagkukusa na sila mismo ang siguro magsasara para tumugon sa problema.
Sa San Juan City, nagkusa na raw ang 3 malls na pansamantalang magsasara para matiyak ang kaligtasan ng lahat.
Yung economic impact, we can all do something to recover from that. Mas importante ang buhay kaysa ekonomiya kung papapiliin tayo. But we are trying to strike a balance.
Alvin, ngayong hapon lang ay inanunsyo rin ni Mayor Abby Binay na naipasa na ng City Council ang ordinansang nagtatalaga ng curfew mula 8 p.m. hanggang 5 a.m. sa Makati City. Bukas ay nakatakdang simulan ang curfew na iyan. Samantala, kani-kanina lamang ay nagdeklara na rin na state of calamity sa Maynila dahil pa rin sa banta ng COVID-19.
The concentration is also considered to be the weakest form of decentralization kasi lagi siyang ginagamit sa mga unitary states. Yung mga unitary states or unitary government is a system of political organization with a central supreme government which holds the authority over and makes the decision for the subordinate local government. Tapos, yung primary priority ng the concentration is improving the production efficiency rather than the improvement ng impact ng production efficiency ng administration. So, yung primary priority may be improving the production efficiency ng administration with an improvement in the impact of the services delivered as a second priority. So, yung first priority nila is yung improvement ng production efficiency ng administration kaysa dun sa impact ng services na nabibigay sa mga tao. Okay. And then, the second one is delegation. Delegation, this involves the national government transferring responsibilities for decision-making and administration of public functions to semi-autonomous public sectors. Itong delegation, ito yung form ng administrative decentralization na madaming nasasakupan. For example, ng mga delegation is yung National Water Supply Company or yung Maynilad, Meralco, yung mga hospital corporations such as East Ave, okay? Tapos yung mga agricultural research institute like National Fisheries Research and Development Institute. So, yung mga yon may kontrata yon na nagpro-provide ng autonomy na parang binibigyan siya ng, okay, may kontrata tayo na kaya nagagawin mo yung services na yun based on your sa pamamalakad mo mismo. Yung devolution naman, devolution is where the national government devolve functions to sub-national government. So, binibigay ng government, tinatransfer ng government yung mga function niya papunta sa mga sub-national government. So, ang primary objective daw ng devolution is to improve allocative efficiency, with the improvement of production efficiency as a second priority. So, first priority, to improve allocative efficiency. Tapos, yung second priority niya is the improvement of production efficiency. So, parang baliktad siya nung deconcentration. Siya yung nagtatransfer ng power for the performance galing sa national or central government papunta doon sa mga LGUs. Okay, sa mga lower levels of government niya.
Let us now compare and contrast the different forms of decentralization. So first, we have the concentration. The concentration covers the ministries such as health, education, public works, and environment. And according to Gregersen et al., among the different forms, the concentration talks about not having the real transfer of power, but only shifting of responsibilities. And what do we mean by that? It means that the power is just among the different levels of the national government. For instance, I am a forest officer of Manila, and I am to be stationed in the different district and provinces. It means that the power is just circulating on the national government. Delegation has a more emphasis on the real transfer of power, but the power is being transferred to semi-autonomous private sectors. And unlike on the concentration, where the power and authority must be fully controlled by the central government, in here, the private sectors have their autonomous management responsibilities, meaning to say, their authority is not being fully held by the central government. Since they are semi-autonomous, they can have their authorization on their own. Lastly, devolution compared to deconcentration and delegation could require some changes or reforms on constitutional laws, and that the power is being devolved on mainly on subnational government. We will dissect each part and explain how it works. On the first box, we have the central government. Central government is placed above because they are the distributor of all powers down to its last box, which is the local government. And along the process, we have local governance and democracy. Let us proceed to local governance. Local governance consists of authority, responsibility, and accountability. Why? Because authority is being transferred to local governance, and local governance should come with a devolved responsibility and accountability in order to manifest a good governance for their constituents. And for democracy, we have participation, power, and control. Why? Because these three factors are the reason why we label them as the democratic basis of decentralization. In the process of decentralization, there is a participatory democracy when they are allowing the people and the local government to take place in the decision-making process. Meaning to say, the moment when the people are being involved in the process of decision-making, it is now encouraging democracy, especially when they are involved in the contribution of changes in the national policies and on the decision making.
The local government are government units with autonomy in order to attain the fullest development of communities and make them more effective partners in the attainment of national goals. The structure presented is cited from Atienza's Local Government and Devolution in the Philippines. The national government is subdivided into two units, the provinces and the highly urbanized cities. The provincial government is authorized by the law to have power in acquiring and transferring real and personal properties, in entering contracts as well as those incurring obligations and exercising other rights and obligations provided by the law. Elected province officials consist of the governor, the vice-governor, and the provincial board members or the vocals. The governor is given the power to exercise supervision over the whole province. It is his or her responsibility to make known to the citizens the laws and orders of the government. Also, the governor has the power to advise local officials in the matters affecting the official work of the province. The governor also serves as a presiding officer, while the provincial board serves as the legislative or the lawmaking body of the province. It is responsible for the preparation of laws promoting welfare to the municipalities and cities under the jurisdiction of the province. It is also responsible for preparing the provincial budget as well as for its allotment for provincial purposes. The provincial unit is further subdivided into municipalities and component cities. Municipalities, commonly known as towns, are created by an act of Congress. It has a population of at least 25,000 inhabitants and an annual income of at least 2,500,000 pesos for the last 2 consecutive years. Elected municipal officials consist of the mayor, the vice mayor, and the councilors or the Sangguniang Bayan. The mayor is responsible for executing the law within the town's jurisdiction, supervising the town administration, promulgating orders for peace within the town, for holding meetings for the council, and for providing measures for the town's social and economic improvement. This government unit's legislative body is the Sangguniang Bayan. The members of the council are the ones who approve ordinances and pass resolutions for an efficient and effective government. And they also possess other powers granted by the law. A component city is a converted municipality or a cluster of barangays which have reached a population of 150 inhabitants and an average annual income of 20 million pesos for the last 2 consecutive years. City officials consist of a city mayor, a city vice mayor, and the city councilors or the Sangguniang Panglungsod. The city mayor serves as the chief executive of this unit. He or she exercises general supervision over the different programs, projects, services, and activities of the city government. On the other hand, the vice mayor serves as the presiding officer and the Sangguniang Panglungsod acts as the legislative body of this government unit. Other city officials include a city treasurer, city assessor, a city accountant, a city budget officer, a city planning and development coordinator, a city engineer, health officer, city civil registrar, a city administrator, legal officer, a city veterinarian, a city social welfare and development officer, and a city services officer. Under both municipality and component city is the barangay. It is considered as the smallest government unit in the Philippines. It has a population of at least 2,000 inhabitants. Barangay officials consist of the barangay captain, 7 barangay councilors or the Sangguniang Barangay, Sangguniang Kabataan Chairman, the barangay secretary, and the barangay treasurer. The barangay captain serves as the unit's chief executive. He or she is responsible for enforcing laws and ordinances applicable for the barangay. He is also responsible for negotiating and signing of contracts upon the approval of the Sangguniang Barangay. He is also responsible for supervising over the activities of the Sangguniang Kabataan and many more. The members of the Sangguniang Barangay are responsible for determining the tax revenue ordinances in accordance to the limitations of the local government code. They are expected to give suggestions for the welfare of the inhabitants of the barangay and also for the improvement of the barangay in general. On the same level of the provincial unit is the highly urbanized city. A highly urbanized city has a population of at least 20,000 inhabitants and the latest annual income of at least 50 million pesos. Once these requirements are met, its status is to be declared by the President within 30 days. It is upon the proper application and plebiscite by the qualified voters. Such cities are considered to be a component of the province they are located. However, these cities have charters prohibiting their voters from voting for provincial elective officials. Highly urbanized cities have the same officials as a component city, and under it is also the barangay, which again is the smallest government unit in the Philippines.
Number 1. More room for the local government. According to Local Government Code of 1991, it devolves the power, resources, and responsibilities from national government to our local government. In short, our different LGUs as an opportunities to govern and create a specific actions that they know what's the best for them constituents. The best example of this is the pandemic that we're experiencing nowadays, the COVID-19. It is such a huge problem to all of us, especially on how our national government responds to it. But through the power of decentralization, the authority now is flexible. The national government can top the local government. As stated in Section 16 Local Government Code of 1991, the general welfare of the Filipino people is very important to respond immediately and have a better solution in fighting against the COVID-19. The amelioration program that executed by the SWD distributed the financial aid to particular LGUs to give 500,000 pesos to 800,000 pesos. We can see that the decentralization is very active and it is very helpful to our state to give response immediately in a current situation that we are experiencing nowadays. Number two, it develops decision making of our national and local government. Through decentralization, it brings decision-making process closer to the scene of action upon to our national and local government units. The active participation and being critical in all situations is a must. The national government units, in which they make general policies, while the local government units has mandated to create a specific actions. Let's take an example. Look on how Marikina City Mayor Marcelino Teodoro did. They exercise his power and authority to participate in helping the national government in devastating the spreading of COVID-19 in entire Luzon, not only in Marikina City. He built testing center in Marikina City for free, helping our frontliners to have stable facilities and equipments. This will be the best example of decision making. He reduces the burden of our national government, specifically on the Department of Health. And lastly, number three, local government can be flexible. Through the power of decentralization, the local government units is accountable in all situations. They are expected to have a great governance and exercise the importance of general welfare of their constituent. They are accountable to devolve responsibility and authority in different aspects of them constituent needs. Let's take some examples. The local government officials are expected to uplift the agricultural sector in which they comprise establishments primary in growing crops, fostering animals, and gathering some natural resources that could help an individual. The health sector also that provides medical services, manufacturer of medical equipments, and provides the sustainability of general welfare of an individual. And lastly, the social welfare is also important, in which they can define as groups of assistants within the poorest of the poor and creating housing programs and go through the basic needs of an individual.
Maghapong hinintay ng mga taga-barangay Payatas ang mga taga-DSWD at Quezon City Hall para sa cash amelioration card na mahihirap na pamilyang bibigyan ng 8,000 pesos na tulong sa loob ng 2 buwan. Pero tanong ng mga taga-barangay, sino at ilan sa 80,000 na pamilyang ini-apply nila ang pasok sa cash aid? At dahil inaasahan na magwawala ang mga pamilyang hindi mabibigyan ng cash aid, may plano na ang barangay.
Ilalapit po uli natin sa Social Services Department ng Quezon City, sa SSDD, para sila na po ang gumawa ng paraan kung paano po natin hindi ka-qualify.
Ang Tarlac City Local Government naman hinihimay kung sino ang dapat ipasok sa 53,000 families na kotang ibinigay ng DSWD para sa 6,500 pesos na cash aid. Ayon sa mayor, nasa 80 hanggang 100,000 ang mahihirap nilang pamilya. Kaya plano nilang humugot na lang sa calamity fund at savings fund ng syudad para mabigyan ng walang cash aid. Yun nga lang, mas mababa ito.
Baka kami siguro hanggang tig 2,000 lang para mas marami kami matulungan pa. Magpasensya muna, lalo na yung mga nakakaluwag naman sa buhay. Huwag nang sisilipin itong mga below poverty line na uunahin natin tutulungan.
Paalala ni Senate President Vicente Soto III sa mga LGU, bawal hatiin ang cash aid ng mahihirap na pamilya. Kung kapos ang DSWD fund, pwede umanong humugot ang LGU sa calamity fund na inalis muna ang cap o limit ng Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. Pwede namang kasuhan ang mga abusadong lokal na opisyal.
Reklamo nila ay mga local officials sila na hindi nagpe-perform, yung mga nakapitan na namimili.
After mapamahagi na yung social amelioration, DSWD will conduct a validation, no? Then after the validation, during the validation, tingnan niyo yung eligibility, pati kung nag-duplicate ba. Now, in cases of ineligibility, i-inform na DSWD yung LGU within 72 hours. And the LGU official will have to refund yung amount na binigay niya dun sa ineligible or non-eligible na beneficiary.
Sa programang Filon ngayon sa DZMM, humingi ng paumanhin ang DSWD sa gulo sa usapin sa Social Amelioration Program at pinayuhan ang LGUs na magsumite agad sa kanila ng bagong listahan.
Numbers at ayun po ang i-share namin po sa economic managers para as early as now ay mapag-aralan na nila kung ilan ang additional na pondo o budget para do sa mga hindi nakasama do sa target indicative beneficiary.
Umaabot na umano sa 43 billion pesos ang naibabang pondo ng DSWD para sa Social Amelioration Program sa LGUs at 800 million pesos naman sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Sherian Torres, ABS-CBN News.
So basically, the government disperses their power to local government units. Political decentralization are necessary for the people so that they can address their problems quickly. Local government are divided into units. First, the province, where province are divided into municipality and component cities. Another is barangay and highly urbanized cities. If you think about it, decentralization are necessary so that government can respond quickly to local issues, and just a small mistake on distribution of power authority may lead to devastating outcome. As implied, let us put political decentralization on Philippine context. We can cite this administration as example of negligence of funding on local governments and mainly focusing on military power. Maybe that is the downside of decentralization. The power isn't always on the one who needs it.